Thank you for joining our webinar today on sugar analytics. My name is Jesse Heller. I'm with FayeBSG, and I'm here alongside with Lawrence Long from SugarCRM. He's the Senior Director of Strategic Partner Marketing. And today we're going to be discussing the newest SugarCRM add-on that's available in Sugar Analytics. So I will briefly just talk a little bit about FayeBSG, and then I will pass it over to Lawrence. So just about us, we have 25 years of experience in doing integrations, and we've done hundreds of successful accounting and ERP, CRM software implementations and integrations, and we are a SugarCRM Platinum partner, and we love sugar. All of our programming and support, we're all located here in Southern California, and today we have around 400 or so clients. So that's a little bit about us. Lawrence, I'm going to pass it over to you. I'm going to give you the reins and make you presenter here, and we will get into today's topic of sugar analytics.
All right, that sounds great. Thanks a lot, Jesse. And hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Thanks for taking the time here to learn about sugar analytics. So let me just get the slides going here. All right, so Sugar Analytics, as Jesse said, is a new offering. And I'm going to start, first of all, and just give you a summary of what it is. It is a new optional SugarCRM add-on product. It provides some additional function over and above what's available today in Sugar. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Jesse, is that slide showing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so what Sugar Analytics does, and by the way, it's got a fairly long official name, which is Sugar Analytics powered by Cognos Business Intelligence. But since that's long, I like to refer to it just as Sugar Analytics. So what Sugar Analytics is and what it does is it provides advanced analytics and business intelligence for sugar. It is powered by Cognos Business Intelligence, which is a leading business intelligence offering that comes from IBM. It's a proven, robust, market-leading offering, and the fact that we can include that as part of a sugar offering is pretty exciting for us. And a couple other things to kind of help you position it relative to what you might already know. You know, I know most of you or many of you are probably existing sugar customers and know about something called sugar reporting. So think of Sugar Analytics, as the middle of this slide shows, as something that extends out of the box sugar reporting, really goes beyond what's available in sugar reporting, and provides what I'll call here advanced analytics. And I'll give you a lot more detail about what I mean by advanced analytics in the next couple slides. But think of Sugar Analytics at a high level as a set of more advanced analytic capability that goes above and beyond what's in basic sugar reporting. Basic sugar reporting will continue to be offered with sugar. It's free, obviously, with sugar, and that will continue to be the case. And then Sugar Analytics is an additional value add that goes above and beyond what's in sugar, including sugar reporting. It's important to note that Sugar Analytics is only licensed for use with data in the sugar database. So that's the first kind of positioning point to remember, is that Sugar Analytics can work against any data that's in the sugar database. That includes standard fields that come as part of the sugar data model, and it also includes extensions that might have been made to the sugar database. But the common factor in all of those things is that it's data in the sugar database, whether that's data that was already there as part of the standard model or extensions that you've made to the sugar database. So Sugar Analytics works against any data, including extensions that have been made in the Sugar database. And then for general purpose enterprise business intelligence, if you need that against other data sources other than Sugar, then you really want Cognos Business Intelligence itself from IBM, or you could use other third-party tools. So the key point to remember there is Sugar Analytics really is for data in the Sugar database, including extensions to the Sugar database. So kind of as an overall guideline to determine if Sugar Analytics is right for you or your organization, a couple of questions here at the bottom of the page. If you have analytics and business intelligence needs that go beyond the capabilities of Sugar reporting, I've already talked to some customers who are trying to do things that Sugar reporting honestly was never really designed to do. So things like timeline comparisons of last quarter's data as one example to this quarter. Those are examples of advanced analytics, and I'll give you some more later on, that are capabilities that Sugar reporting really was never designed to do, and Sugar Analytics can do. Another good way to kind of phrase the same question is, if you or your Sugar users are frequently exporting Sugar data to Excel or similar tools and manipulating that data in Excel. So if your users or your Sugar users are taking Sugar data, exporting it to Excel, using filtering and sorting and group by, and maybe even creating pivot tables in Excel and graphing those in Excel, that's a good indication that some of the capabilities of Sugar Analytics is a good fit for you. And then the last question, which is really a different way to ask kind of the same concept, is do you need to perform advanced analytics against CRM data? By advanced analytics, I mean things like a dashboard where you have maybe multiple metrics from CRM data that are shown on a single screen. Trending, which is the example I showed earlier, or I talked about earlier, of comparing one time period, last quarter, last month, last year, against the current time period. Another great example is drill up or down, where I want to see one set of data or metrics, but be able to click on it and drill down and see the detail behind that, and then maybe even click over to a different category of the same type of data. And then do I need to be able to create, charts and graphs with all kinds of different visualizations? Sugar reporting does some of that, but from a fairly kind of basic reporting type of view, and Sugar Analytics can go far and above beyond that in terms of creating charts and graphs. So keep that in mind as an overall kind of positioning statement, and I'll give you some examples just to kind of help crystallize what I mean. Here a picture is really worth 1,000 words. So this gives one screenshot. It is a Sugar 6 screenshot, but Sugar Analytics works for both Sugar 6 and 7. So don't think that this screenshot implies that Sugar Analytics only supports Sugar 6. It does support both Sugar 6 and 7. And there's a couple of Sugar Analytics views that we can see on the screenshot. So on the top left, where it says Sales Rep Dashboard, that actually shows a dashboard of metrics, multiple metrics, 5 metrics to be exact, of data that comes from Sugar and is all reported in one kind of easy-to-read dashboard. And so what's different here from, say, Sugar reporting is those of you who know Sugar reporting know that there are ways to create metrics, but you'd essentially have to create individual dashlets for each of these metrics. You'd have to ensure that the data set, the rules around the query correlate to the same data across all 5. So it's something that kind of in theory can be done with Sugar reporting, but is generally a little harder to do if you want all of these in one place embedded on your Sugar screen, as the case is shown here. So Sugar Analytics does that very well. It can provide a single set of metrics that are shown in the dashboard here, and it can also allow you to drill into those. So if you clicked on any one of those metrics, it would show you the detail behind that. That's one example, and one other thing I'll say about this example is this particular example is designed around the use case of an individual sales rep looking at their metrics so that they can be more effective, right? In this case, just to pick the number on the right-hand side, what Sugar Analytics is telling this sales rep is that on average, they have needed 3.7 touches to close for any of their interactions. And that's not an arbitrary made-up number, but that is an actual historical average over their deal history, which helps them plan, right? So if they're getting ready to call on a customer for the first time, they can mentally be planning that they will likely need, four touches in total to actually close that deal based on actual historical data. On the right-hand side, we can see a map, and it's a map of the U.S. Again, it shows some data, number of opportunities with color coding. And the other thing that I can't show easily in this webinar, but you can imagine that if you drilled into one state, if you put the mouse over a given state and clicked on it, you'd be able to see the detail behind that. You'd see the list of opportunities in this case, and you could drill down and possibly even look at associated information. So that's what I mean by drill down. And in this particular case, we're seeing it from a map view, and then we're drilling down from each of the states in the map. And you could imagine you can even drill further, right? Let's say you got states, you could then go into, say, counties within the state and so forth. So that's one example. And here's another example that shows a few other elements of this. So on the top, you can see, a set of dial gauges. So that's yet another visualization. Again, there's a drop-down, a little hard to see, but where it says opportunity revenue, you could change that drop-down and the dial would change. On the middle left, you can see a bar graph with blue and green bars that says opportunity revenue, win-loss by sales organization. And at first glance, this looks fairly simple, but if you look closely, you can see that blue is fourth quarter and green is third quarter. And so this is an example of what I mean when I say trending or time series comparison. Those are both just different terms for the same thing, which is a way of comparing one time period to another, in this case, fourth quarter to third quarter. And this is something that a lot of business people and users will want to do, to look at, last quarter compared to this quarter, last month compared to this month. You could even see a whole history of the last 4 quarters, et cetera. This is something that Sugar Analytics does very well. It's a little harder to do in Sugar reporting because in Sugar reporting you'd have to essentially build a query for each time period, whereas in this case Sugar Analytics gives you that ability to easily do that and see it all presented in one graphical view. So that's what we mean by trending. Again, in a live demo, I'd actually be able to click on any one of those bars and see the detailed data behind that. So if I clicked on the leftmost blue bar, I would see the actual list of fourth quarter won and lost opportunities. And again, I could click over to any one of the other bars. Something else that you can see is a number of filters kind of in the middle on the right-hand side. And that's an example of if you deselected a particular field, in this case it's sales stages, then you'd be able to see the data on the graph change to reflect the current set of values that you've selected. And so that's something that's built in as well to Sugar Analytics, the ability to do filtering, the ability to change it by, say, drop-down or clicking on multiple values. We've even seen one example of a slider bar. It's not shown on this screen, but a slider bar showing time, say, the last 5 years, and then you'd be able to slide it to show the last 2 years, the last year, the last 4 quarters, and the data and the graph would change appropriately. So those are all different examples of how visualization, a bunch of different ways to show visualization, to filter different values, and also this is a good example of showing that trending and time series comparison. So I started out earlier saying, Sugar Analytics provides advanced analytics, and it's a little abstract to describe it that way. But if hopefully by seeing these 2 screenshots, that gives you a sense of the kinds of things that Sugar Analytics can do. It can do different visualizations. It can do time series or trending comparisons. It can do comparisons of last quarter versus this quarter, as well as the drill down kinds of capabilities. Those are all examples of advanced analytic capabilities. So let's step back a little bit and look at how it could be used in a sugar sense. We often see that a lot of sugar customers have a number of questions that they want their CRM data to help answer. So from the marketing point of view, marketing managers will want to use CRM data, pipeline and opportunity data, to look at who has actually bought things in the past, or which of my existing customers and prospects are good targets for a certain kind of campaign. And that's there's a valuable amount of information in a CRM system that can help answer those questions, and Sugar Analytics can help answer those. From the sales point of view, a lot of what I've talked about is in the context of providing analysis for an individual sales rep. I gave you that example of 3.7 touches to close. There's other metrics that we can provide using CRM data to an individual sales rep to help make them more effective. Another good example is on the top bubble there. It says, where are other reps successful? Right? We've seen some customers who want to look at the kinds of activities that some of their best reps do. Right? A good rep will conduct this many meetings and RFI responses and have this many calls with a prospect. And so as they bring newer reps on, a great tool to put in front of that new rep is that set of metrics based on the best reps in the company. And that way the new rep can be reminded, as they look at their sugar window, that they need to be conscious of the fact that they should be planning to have 4 touches to close, planning to send this many emails or have this many calls with a customer as a guideline for them to be as effective as the best reps in the company. So that's a great example of providing value through analytics to the individual sales rep. Similarly, on the support side, right, there's a number of metrics and analysis that can be done for support in terms of things like call resolution time, identifying areas where there's the highest call volume, might indicate problems in the product. And one of the things I'd like to point out across this whole spectrum is that providing that analytics not only for managers, sales managers and support managers, but providing it for individual sales reps or support reps can add a lot of value. And so that's why earlier on I focused on that example of providing sales metrics for the individual sales rep to help make them more effective. And those of you that have been following SugarCRM, we talk a lot about the I in CRM making the individual customer-facing individual more effective. And so we think there's a lot of opportunity to continue that theme and strategy with Sugar Analytics. So a couple of notes about the Sugar Analytics product to be a little bit more specific on this slide. So Sugar Analytics is a new product. It's out now, and initially we're supporting only Sugar on-prem. So we don't support, at this time, Sugar on demand. And part of the reason for that is that the way we see people using analytics typically is a lot of times it will be configured or in some cases customized to that particular customer's business environment and their situation. It could be as simple as changing, a customer that has short sales cycle may want to see opportunity data by week instead of by month or quarter. So that's an example of a configuration. But that's part of the reason that initially Sugar Analytics, and at this time Sugar Analytics only supports Sugar on-prem. We don't have support for Sugar on demand at this time, and frankly we don't have plans for that support anytime in the near future. It does support both Sugar 6 and Sugar 7, so that's an important point for all of you. I know many sugar customers are on 6, looking to move to 7. And the nice thing about Sugar Analytics is it supports both of those environments. Today, the support is for the LAMP stack, so that's the only product environment or platform configuration that it supports. I've had a few questions about which sugar editions it supports. So it does support Pro, Ultimate, and Enterprise. Technically, there's support for all 3 of those environments, and they're all considered supported environments. In general, and this is a guideline as opposed to a support statement or an architectural statement, in general, what we've seen is that most customers that need advanced business intelligence capabilities, like what Sugar Analytics provides, are typically using Ultimate and Enterprise. So that is a guideline, but Sugar Analytics does support all 3 of Pro, Ultimate, and Enterprise editions. There is a minimum deal size. It's part of our contractual obligation to IBM in using the Cognos technology, and that minimum deal is 20 users. And also, the way the licensing works is that every Sugar user must be a Sugar Analytics user. So what that means is if you are say you've got 200 seats of Sugar, then you've got to purchase 200 seats or 200 users worth of Sugar Analytics. And there's really 2 reasons for that. One is that's also part of our contract with IBM. Now, I'll tell you about pricing in a minute, but one thing to point out is that Sugar Analytics pricing is considerably cheaper than kind of quote-unquote regular Cognos Business Intelligence that you would buy from IBM. And so keep that in mind, and that's actually one of the reasons that this licensing requirement is here, that every Sugar user must be a Sugar Analytics user. The other reason is it really goes back to our positioning. We're positioning Sugar Analytics as providing value for every Sugar user, again, individual sales rep, individual support rep. And so this pricing kind of mechanism is really just an extension of that same positioning statement. So let's talk for a minute about pricing and packaging just to give you a sense. So the base component, which is really the one that most of you will use, and 99% of the time this is the offering that would be used. So this is the piece that provides that dashlit visibility that I showed on the screenshots. And that's the base offering. It's just called Sugar Analytics, powered by Cognos Business Intelligence. And the price is, list price is $20 a user a month. So that's fairly inexpensive. Cognos itself, first thing to note is it's not priced on a subscription basis. So here you have the ability to price it on a subscription basis. And in every kind of typical scenario that we've seen, Cognos regular pricing is quite a bit more expensive. So here, we are in the great position of being able to offer that Cognos technology for a very inexpensive price, $20 a user a month at list price. And as I said, there is a minimum of $20 or 20 users, per deal, and every Sugar user must be a Sugar Analytics or Cognos user. And then sometimes if you're looking to modify reports, this could be as simple as changing labels or fields on a report, changing some of the visualizations. Then what you might need or your partner might need is something called an author component. There is one author included for free in every Sugar Analytics deal, so you'll have that ability to do it with one author license. And then if you need additional author licenses, that's an additional $20 a user a month. And so the scenario this would come in is oftentimes we'll see in a typical organization there'll be multiple departments, and each department might want to be able to adjust their own reports. And so if it was let's say it's a 500 user Sugar deployment, there might be multiple departments, and if each department chose to be able to modify reports, then a lot of times each department will choose to have one designated report author, and that would be the person that would have this author license. But like I said, a good starting point for a lot of Sugar customers is just use the one author license that comes for free, and over time that often ends up potentially, if the organization decides to tweak more reports as they get adopted and used, then sometimes down the road we'll see those customers coming back and requesting a few more author licenses. But a good place to start is just use that first free author deal, first free author license that comes with the deal, excuse me. And then the last piece is something that some customers may never use. Some customers may actually work through a skilled partner, but it's something called the administrator model, which is required if the base data model needs to be modified. So this would be the case if you've done heavy customizations to the Sugar data model itself, and you want to see those customized fields show up in your Sugar Analytics dashlets. Then you'll actually have to go in and modify that data model and modify the data mart that these dashlets are actually looking at. This can be done by you, the customer, or it can actually be done by a Cognos skilled partner. It doesn't, I would say this comes up not in all cases, but it comes up in cases where the customer's done heavy customization of the Sugar data model. And it's important to point out that this can be licensed on and off to reflect Sugar customizations. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're about to roll out Sugar and you've customized the Sugar data model, and you know that you need those customized fields to show up in the Sugar Analytics dashlets. So if it's, let's just say for sake of argument, if it's 3 months to build those customized dashlets, then you really only need 3 months usage of this administrator model, and you can buy it for 3 months at the $700 a user a month, make the changes to the data model that you need, and then after you're done with those data model changes, you no longer need that Sugar Analytics administrator component, and your users can use the new reports and dashlets. So that's what I mean by licensed on and off. In that example, you would only need the administrator component for 3 months if it took you 3 months to finish the Sugar data model. And as a reminder, I mentioned this earlier, but all Sugar Analytics capabilities are only licensed for use against data in the Sugar database. So here's an example just to kind of give you a for instance. Let's say you're a Sugar customer with 500 Sugar users. Let's say you've done some customization of the Sugar data model. Then what you would need is the base seats, 500 seats of Sugar Analytics, $20 a user a month. You get the one free author included in the base offering. You have an option to get additional, but let's just leave it at the one author for now. And then if you needed 3 months, just like I was saying, to customize the Sugar data model, then you would need that administrator module for the 3 months. So that's kind of how it would look for a 500 user customer. And keep in mind, those are all list price. So a couple of other things I want to point out. Sugar Analytics provides capability for both new and existing Sugar customers. It's a significant discount to regular Cognos pricing. So it's a significant discount compared to going out and buying Cognos BI on its own. Now the flip side of that is that it's restricted only to analyzing data in the Sugar database itself. And the other point I want to make is for existing Cognos customers, if you have Cognos already, then that's great. Then you can still get value from the integration between Cognos and Sugar. Part of Sugar Analytics is not just the Cognos code, but is also a set of pre-built integrations to Sugar to provide integrated security and user management. That means things like when you add a new user in Sugar, then that gets propagated over to Sugar Analytics or Cognos. There's also a starter data mart that's laid down based on the standard Sugar data model with starter dashlets. So that will give you a leg up in terms of connecting Cognos, which you already have, into Sugar. And there's still a great benefit and value in those integrations between Sugar and Cognos. And the last point I'll make, which is business as usual, is that Sugar Analytics ideally would be priced to be coterminous with Sugar. So we would essentially just line up the renewal timeframes so that everything renewed together. And we are talking to customers now who, let's say your sugar renewal is not scheduled to happen until the fall of this year. Then the simplest thing to do is to get a subscription to Sugar Analytics from now until fall, and then at fall, in the fall time frame, to have everything renew all at the same time. So that's just standard kind of add-on pricing in terms of renewal time frames. So let's talk for a minute on this chart about the architecture. This just kind of gives you a picture of the pieces that are there, so to speak. So the reddish, brownish pieces, that's sugar itself. And then the blue pieces are the new pieces that would come as a result of Sugar Analytics. So you can see what's shown on this picture as Cognos Bridge. That's the kind of the integrated module that gives the security and the user management integration into Cognos itself. Then you have Cognos itself with its business insight piece, which is used for our basic reporting, Report Studio, which is really our author module, and then Framework Manager, which is our administration module. And then under the covers, the other thing that we're doing is we're laying down a reporting database, or what you might think of as a data mart in classic business intelligence terms. That data mart is extracting data out of the sugar operational databases and building a data mart that the reports or dashlets themselves are viewing. So that's kind of how the architecture looks and gives you a sense of the different pieces involved. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the timeline. So right now, Sugar Analytics powered by Cognos Business Intelligence, that's available. It's something that Faye can help you explore for your environment, and it's definitely a lot of value add, especially for existing sugar customers who've got needs that go beyond sugar reporting. One of the things, hopefully you all know about SugarCon, that's coming up at the end of April, starting April 28th in San Francisco. It's our premier sugar event for sugar customers, partners, and users. And we will be spending time at SugarCon with a lot more detail about Sugar Analytics. We'll have a demo that we'll be showing at SugarCon, and it'll also be something that Faye can do for you if you're not physically at SugarCon through a URL. If you're at SugarCon, we'll have something called the Smarties Bar, which is where we're demoing all of the sugar products themselves, including Sugar Analytics. And we've got a breakout session specifically on Sugar Analytics Wednesday afternoon. So I encourage you to kind of put that down in your diaries if you're going to be at SugarCon. And then after SugarCon, we'll be rolling out additional dashlets and additional demo assets, expanding the use cases beyond the individual sales rep and looking at some of the other areas like support, like sales management and marketing. So that's the timeline that we're on. And we're also opening up the ability for partners themselves to develop dashlets, especially based on their particular area of expertise. So let me recap a couple of things here, and then I'll open it up for questions. I know as I've been going through this, you've probably had questions come to mind. So we'll get to those in a minute, but let me just summarize what I've covered. So Sugar Analytics, what is it? It's a new SugarCRM add-on product. It is optional, and it's something that provides additional advanced analytics and business intelligence beyond what's in sugar reporting. It's important to note it's powered by a market-leading business intelligence offering. It's Cognos from IBM, and that's a great advantage for us. We're very excited about that at Sugar because that is a leading technology and offering for business intelligence. So just a reminder in terms of positioning, it goes above and beyond what's in sugar reporting, provides advanced analytics, all of the things I showed, like time series, like Drilldown, like advanced visualization. Those are all examples of things that Sugar Analytics does that go above and beyond the capabilities of sugar reporting. It is only licensed for data in the sugar database. That's one of the reasons why it's a very attractive price. If you need general purpose enterprise business intelligence for data sources other than sugar, then you really want Cognos Business Intelligence itself from IBM, or you could look at third-party tools. And as a reminder for some of the ways that you can tell if this is a fit for you or your organization is just ask yourself these questions. Do you have analytics and business intelligence needs that go beyond the capabilities of sugar reporting? Right? I've talked to sugar customers where they already know that they want to be able to do comparisons of last quarter to this quarter. And that's an example of an analytics need beyond the capabilities of sugar reporting. Another good indicator of that is, are you or your sugar users exporting sugar data to Excel and then manipulating it in Excel or similar tools? And then lastly, do you need to be able to do dashboards, trending, drill up or down, creating charts or graphs? Those are all examples of advanced analytics that Sugar Analytics can help provide. So with that, I'm going to pause here, and that wraps up my presentation. I'll see if Jesse has any additional comments, and then we can take a few questions.
Thanks, Lawrence. Yeah, just so finally, if anybody has any interest in Sugar Analytics, please feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is being shown on the webinar, and if you're not on the webinar, and if you're listening on your phone, our site is FayeBSG.com, and you can email us at info@FayeBSG.com if you're interested in learning how to leverage Sugar Analytics. And if you're not a Sugar customer yet and you're interested in learning more about Sugar, obviously reach out to us for that as well. So I'm not seeing any questions right now, Lawrence. I don't know if you've received anything offline in your email or anything like that, but I guess I'll wait a couple more moments to see if there's any more, if anyone has any questions. And if not, I recorded the webinar, so it's going to be available for your team. If you'd like to share it, I'll send it out in the next couple days and post it on our site as well. You can also visit our webinars and events page on our site to see some of our other upcoming webinars that we have scheduled in the future. And if anybody's attending SugarCon, we will see you there as well. And Lawrence, I will see you at the Smarties Bar for sure. I hear it's much better than the Genius Bar anyways. So
yeah.
We're looking forward to that. So again, Lawrence, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about Sugar Analytics. And if anyone is interested in exploring this, please do let us know. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great week.